Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you halfway through the week. We are now 8 days away from Arsenal returning to action with that game at Wolves next Thursday. And my God, it feels like an awful long time since that Burnley game, isn't it? I think we all knew, it certainly felt like Arsenal needed a break after what was a pretty difficult January. They looked tired, injuries, COVID, everything else. You thought, this break has come at a good time for Arsenal. It's a good time to relax, get yourselves back fit. But God, we're halfway through it now, and it is dragging on. I want football back. I tell you, it's not much fun, is it, when when you go this long without football? I know everyone's been campaigning for a winter break and all that, and it does the players good. And I understand it is right. It is right. The players do need a bit of a break, but oh God, as fans, it's pretty tough going this long without watching the team play, and certainly as journalists as well, it's pretty hard because you want stuff to write about, and the match is the most fun part of the week. So roll on next Thursday night, and what's going to be a really, really difficult game for Arsenal away at Wolves, who are just a couple of points behind them in the league. Not probably the easiest game you would want to come back from, but hey, you've got to play these games, haven't you? And hopefully Arsenal can go into it relaxed and ready to go again. Certainly the pictures from Dubai seems like they are having a good time. They look like they're enjoying themselves in the sunshine. The training seems to have gone well, and certainly their pictures on their social media channels looks like they're having some good downtime as well, and so that'll be a bonus. Back at Arsenal, just looking at this actually, Barcelona have just announced Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. As I started this video, that has come through now. So he's confirmed. Obviously last night Arsenal confirmed that he'd been released from the club, but Barcelona now have finally announced it. It's saying here that he has signed a contract which runs till 2025. So that's a decent length. That's longer than the 18 months that it looks like. So that's a good 2.5-year contract for Aubameyang. He has a €100 million release clause in it, as is the way with Spanish clubs when they make signings. They put those release clauses in. I don't think anyone's going to be paying that somehow, given his age. But good move for Auba. Hope it goes well for him. Yeah. It's going to be tough, isn't it? I think watching him over there, because you know he's going to score. He's going to bang in a few goals, and every single goal he scores over there, it's going to be like, should he be doing that over here, especially if Arsenal are struggling to score? But that's a decision that has been taken, and he has sent a goodbye message to the Arsenal fans. I don't know if you've seen it yet. In it, he talks about how he says, "Thank you for making London home for myself and my family for the past 4 years. We went through ups and downs together, and your support meant everything to me. Having the chance to win trophies and the honour of being captain of this club is something I'll keep in my heart forever. I've always been 100% focused and committed on doing everything, which is why leaving without a real goodbye hurts. But that is football. I'm sad I did not get the chance to help my teammates in the last few weeks, but I have nothing but respect for the club and truly wish all my guys and the fans all the best and many successful years in the future." So a nice message there from Aubameyang saying his goodbyes. Arsenal announced that they'd released him late last night on Tuesday night with a bit of a thank you video on their social media channels and a statement wishing Auba all the best and thanking him for his service. And there is a line firmly drawn under Aubameyang and Arsenal. 4 years to the day after he signed, he left, and now a day later he has completed his move to Barcelona and got himself a nice contract as well. So that's good news for Auba. Happy for him. I said my piece yesterday on what I thought thought about the whole situation, and how, you know, it's a big gamble, no doubt about it. I thought he had to go, no doubt about it, just because we just know Mikel wasn't going to bring him back into the fold. History suggested that. It's told us that with all the other players that this has happened to, so you may as well get rid of him. They've saved money in the long run in terms of the wages. So I've got no issue with that. My issue is that they haven't brought anyone in to replace him. Even if it's not your ready-made first choice for good, I think you certainly buy some sort of stopgap just between now and the end of the season. So on a loan deal, I mean, someone who can provide some sort of extra option, because I just feel like Arsenal are a little bit light with Lacazette and Nketiah. I've said this, I'm not going to go over it all again. So you can have a look at yesterday's video for my thoughts on the situation. I've also put a piece out on Goal today, looking at the transfer window at a whole, looking at Arteta and Edu as well, and the Aubameyang situation. I've posted that on my Twitter account, or you can find it on the Goal homepage at the moment, so please do go over and have a look at that. And that's my views on the whole situation. But certainly now, with Arsenal announcing it, with Barcelona announcing it, and Aubameyang saying his goodbyes, for now there is a line drawn in the sand, and that is him done with Arsenal. Just before I go, I end my chat about Aubameyang, I just wanted to talk about a couple of my favourite moments of him. I've loved Aubameyang being here, I have to say. I was really excited when he signed, and he's done everything I thought he was going to do. He's been prolific, scored lots of goals. Yes, they've dried up in the last year and a half. For whatever reason, it hasn't worked out, and since that new contract signed, it's all kind of gone wrong, really. But prior to that contract being signed, I loved those first couple of years of him. It was just non-stop goals, golden boot in his first full season. And there was just some really good memories. I think my favourite two, obviously the FA Cup final against Chelsea. I mean, what a moment. And the semi-final, really. Those two games, he'll be defined by those two games, I would say, in terms of, the 2-0 win against Man City, scored both goals in that game. And then the 2-1 against Chelsea, scored both goals in that game, won the trophy, lifted and then dropped the trophy. And it'll be obviously defined by those. The second goal, skipping round the Chelsea defender. I can't remember who it was now. Was it Jorginho he beat? No, it wasn't Jorginho. It was Zuma, wasn't it? Yeah, he skipped round Zuma and then lifted the ball over Caballero. Great finish. And it was just Aubameyang at the very top of his game. And then we saw it in the Charity Shield about 3 weeks later, that goal against Liverpool when he cut inside, curled it in the far corner. And then the contract was just about to be signed. He scored against Fulham on the opening day of that season. And you just thought he was going to go on. And, I thought it'd be right up there. Wouldn't catch Wrighty or Henry, obviously, but I thought it'd be around the sort of Van Persie mark in terms of all-time record Arsenal goal scorers, but it just didn't happen. But certainly those games against Man City and Chelsea were a real highlight. But I think my most special night of Aubameyang was Valencia away, Europa League semi-final. Just one of my favourite ever away games. Watching Arsenal, everything about it was special. The performance Aubameyang put in there individually with that hat-trick was just unbelievable to watch. The quality of the goals, the first goal, they're all different. That finish from outside the area, the first goal outside his foot, the poacher's goal for the second, and then smashing that one in from Mkhitaryan's pass for the hat-trick goal. Just top quality finish, all of them. And again, a striker at the very top of his game. And I think that's probably my biggest highlight with Aubameyang, even though he didn't win a trophy that game and it was only a semi-final. Just the level of performance in such a big game away from home with 50,000 fans there. Just made it a really, really special night. And I love that goal against Tottenham as well in the 4-2 when he bent it first time from Ramsey. I think it was Ramsey's pass, and he bent it first time into the corner to make it 2-2 and spark off that comeback in the second half. In again, one of my favourite Arsenal home games in a long, long time. So some really, really special memories of Aubameyang. I've loved watching him here. It's just a shame the way it's ended. I think we all were hoping it was going to end a little bit differently and he would stay around at the top of his game for another year and a half, really, until the end of his contract, and then potentially move on. It hasn't happened. He's fallen out with Arteta. Goals have dried up. Not quite the ending we were all hoping for, but good luck, Aubameyang. Wish you well in Barcelona. I just hope... I was reading Arsblog's blog this morning that he always puts out, and he was talking about Aubameyang in that, and I like the ending of his of the blog. Go and have a read of it. It's always great entertainment, Arsblog's blog. I think it was like, I just hope we don't miss you too much, if you see what I mean. It's how he signed it off, and I agree with that. You don't want to, every single game, if Arsenal struggle to score and Aubameyang scoring in Spain, you don't want that feeling of, oh God, and everyone's going to be talking about it. We will. The fan base, Twitter, social media, journalists, everyone will be talking about it. And you just don't want that situation. So hopefully Arsenal can just say goodbye. Now they can carry on scoring goals. Lacazette can start scoring. The other players start scoring. And we just don't miss Aubameyang too much, because I don't think any of us want to consistently be remembered or reminded of him between now and the end of the season. Because if we are, that means that things aren't going too well. Just a little bit of other news doing the rounds today. Alexander Isak has been talking. Isak obviously heavily linked with Arsenal during the transfer window. We had those crazy day or so when everyone on social media was convinced he was signing just before deadline day. The whole car spotted in London. I mean, he was obviously in London. He was spotted in Selfridges and around town. Then his car was spotted coming out of the Emirates or just down the road from the Emirates. Whether that was photoshopped, I have no idea. But everyone got very, very excited about it. He is now back at Sociedad, where it'll be at least till the end of the season. He's been asked about, rumours and maybe an Arsenal and potentially leaving in January. He said, "I'm not talking about other clubs. I'm a Real player. I work here and this is my club. My work is inside the field. And as I told you before, there are other people who work outside. You can never be sure of anything. As I always say, you never know what can happen in football. But in the end, I am here, happy, and nothing else." I mean, there's nothing that can happen now. Obviously, window is shut. It's one for the summer. He's certainly a player that Arsenal will be looking at in the summer. I'm sure of that. He's a player they like. I do wonder, though, if it will be Isak in terms of who they bring in. Because if they were going to bring him in, they're probably going to have to pay the release clause in the summer. Anyway, because it's doubtful that Sociedad are going to want to negotiate. Maybe they will. I don't know. That's me presuming. But you would think if Arsenal are going to sign him, they'd probably have to pay the release clause in the summer. And if they were going to do that, and they'd probably have already decided that by now if they were, then they may as well have just done it in January, just 6 months earlier, because it's still going to be the same price and it's going to help you get through to the end of the season. The fact that they didn't do it in January makes me wonder if they'll probably look at some of the other targets that they're really looking at for the summer. You know, a Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who I know they're very, very much admirers of, and Jonathan David as well. I mean, they're going to have to get a couple, aren't they? It's not just going to be one striker. It's going to have to be at least two, because by the end of the season, Folarin Balogun's going to be the only striker left on the books at Arsenal, because Aubameyang's gone, Lacazette's going, and Nketiah's going. Balogun's going to be only player left, and we don't know if he's even going to be at the club next season. He might go out on loan again, currently at Middlesbrough. So they're going to have to get a couple in, maybe two, but I just do wonder with Isak whether the fact that they didn't go for him, they didn't push the boat out now in January, suggests that they might well be looking. They might have some of the other players that they're interested in higher up the list, if you see what I mean. Because there'll be a list, there'll be number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's no doubt they're going to have to go very, very big for them in the summer. Because they're going to have no strikers left. Elsewhere, the trip to Dubai, that ends today. Arsenal flying back. By all accounts, people I've spoken to, it's been a very, very good trip. The players have enjoyed it. It's been nice to be sort of out of the bubble of England, transfer window, drama and all that. They've been able to kind of switch off for it over in Dubai. I've been speaking to a few people very close to the squad, and all the signals that I've been getting from people is that it's been a really good time out there and the players have enjoyed it. Been a good mixture of, obviously, a lot of the senior players, but also a number of the youngsters have gone out there as well, and everyone seems to have got on. And the whole idea of it, you know, wasn't just about training. Mikel really wanted to bring the squad together, let them have a bit of downtime together, and it sounds like, certainly from people I've spoke to, that they have done exactly that. So you would hope that the squad come back refreshed and reinvigorated. They have a good week now, back in England ahead of next Thursday's game, and they can really go into that Wolves match ready to go. They will have a game this weekend. I believe it's against Reading in a behind closed doors friendly, where, you know, I'm sure Mikel will give everyone a good run out to try and sort of blow the cobwebs off, because it's been a while now, as I said at the beginning of this video, since they have played. One worry for me is Tomiyasu, because he's not been in any of the pictures. There's been lots of pictures posted. Stuart, the club photographer's over there in Dubai, has posted loads of pictures here, which you can see in Getty, and there's none of Tomiyasu whatsoever. I believe he went. I was told at the start of this he was going to be going, and then Mikel wanted the injured players to go, just to, even if they couldn't train, just so they can get away and recuperate over there and be part of the sort of squad bonding. But he's just not in any of the training pictures. With only just over a week to go before the Wolves game, you do wonder, you know, it's looking probably doubtful, you would imagine. You'd want him back training very, very soon if he was going to be involved against Wolves. And the fact he's not yet is a little bit of a worry. Hopefully, you know, they might be saving him. They might have just said to him in Dubai, just rest here, and then once we get back to England, then you can join back in the training and get you ready for the Wolves game. So hopefully that is the case, because you don't want to be without Tomiyasu for too long. Obviously, Arsenal have let Callum Chambers go now, as Maitland-Niles has gone, so it's just Cedric as the only backup at right back. And you don't really, you know, you don't want Cedric to be playing too many games between now and the end of the season at right back. You want Tomiyasu there, absolutely. So that is a little bit of a worry. And Mikel said after the Burnley game, when he was asked about Tomiyasu's injury, he said that he was going to be out for a few weeks with that calf problem. Obviously, they rushed him back for that Liverpool game. It didn't work out. He had a bad game then. You could tell he wasn't anywhere near match fit, and that's aggravated the injury. So that was a risk that didn't pay off at all. And just hopefully that he doesn't mean that he's going to be out for too long. And hopefully we'll see him back once Arsenal get back training to London Colney after this Dubai trip. Other than that, everyone looks like they're there and having fun and fit. Jack Wilshere's over there. Obviously, he didn't manage to get himself a club in January, which is a shame. And the whole thing was that him coming back to Arsenal was to train to get himself a move in January. That didn't materialise to any club, which is a A bit of a shame for Jack. I do wonder what happens now between now and the end of the season. Will he just continue to train at Arsenal while doing his coaching as he has been doing with the younger teams, or will the training stop now for Arsenal? Well, that remains to be seen. I'm sure Mikel will be asked about it in one of the upcoming press conferences that he does. All right, everyone, thank you very much. That's the end of today's video. Appreciate your time as always. Let me know anything that you agree with, disagree with, by leaving your comments below. Always interested to have a look at that. Have an excellent day, everyone. Enjoy yourselves, and I'll speak to you soon.